Hey guys, it's been 6 weeks or so. I can't believe it since I did my last video. And wanted to share what's been going on. It's been crazy, um, up and down and a little intense between being the holidays and the medical things. So, first off, I just want to say thank you because so many of you have reached out wanting to chat or sending a Christmas card or holiday card or texts or videos, audio messages. I know you're all out there caring for me and wanting me to be okay, and I can't tell you what that means. I know we don't apologize. We don't need to apologize to each other, but I know for some of you it's been weeks. Stales. I'm on my. You're on my list to get back to. But there's so many people that I need to get back to, and I will slowly. And I just want you all to know I haven't forgotten. It's just an energy level thing. And when I'm feeling better as the mood strikes me, I will definitely be reaching back out to you. So let's use this video as proof of life that I'm doing okay. So what's been going on? So since Thanksgiving, I know I've done a few different vlogs in the middle. We restarted chemo, and there were some challenges with the numbers. But we kept chemo going, and then the week before Christmas, I was supposed to have a chemo treatment, and my frailty, because I wasn't eating enough nutrient-wise, was so bad that my oncologist said, okay, we need to do the TPN, total parental nutrition, which is it's like a big IV bag. I mean, it's massive. And inside of it is nutrients that are specifically formulated for my body and to give my body energy. And it's fuel, and it's amazing. I mean, it's all in inches, but it's amazing what it's done since I got it. That was the week before Christmas, and I was freaking out because I was like, I want to be home for Christmas. But I got in the hospital on the 18th. I was out on the 23rd, and I had to get something called a PICC line put in, a PICCT, I believe is how you spell it. It's kind of like a semi-permanent IV. Think step down from port. And I had that installed on my right arm. And then every night, Brian, we get these delivered to the house, and Brian reconnects the next one. And they're 12 hours. So, at 8 o'clock or so, we go back, we set it all up, and hopefully we're done by 8:20 in the morning. And then I'm good throughout the day. So that's been helpful, super helpful. The other thing is, after that, we had to do a bunch of blood work, to just keep an eye on the TPN and make sure things were going right. And my liver enzymes were climbing, and they were trying to figure out what was going on. And long story short, we found that we had to go back in the hospital 2 weeks ago again. So this is after New Year's, so that they could figure out what was going on. I was getting a lot of still gas in my stomach, so they had to do another NG tube, which is a nose tube. Not the most comfortable, but we figured it out. I'd do a couple of those to basically pump out the gas and anything else in the stomach. And basically, my liver was in a real dire situation. I had been in the hospital on a Friday afternoon to get my CT scan, my quarterly one, and to get an MRI for these liver enzymes. And like literally pulling in the driveway after a day of being at the hospital, and the doctor's like, can you come back to the ER? Because this is pretty concerning. And I was like, I can't, because, I've been away from home. But how about tomorrow? Okay, fine. So the next day went in through the cancer ER, and at Yale New Haven, they have a ER specifically dedicated to cancer patients. You just have to get an actual seat. So we got up. We were there at 7:30 in the morning. We stayed until 6:30 at night or something like that, and then they transferred us. And so yeah, coming back to pumping my stomach and like getting everything out of there. And really, there were two kind of things that they thought we could do. One was we might need to add another external bag for the liver because they're worried the liver was failing, or do an endoscopy. And lucky for me, after pumping everything out, the endoscopy was the optimal choice, and physically, from a recovery standpoint, the best choice. So, and they fixed a couple of things. They did some suturing and fixed some things up in my small bowel and where the obstructions have been. So we're getting used to that. I was in the hospital for another 8 days over the snowstorm, which would have been nice to be home, but I wouldn't have done anything different. So that's what's been going on. And then Tuesday we go back in to see the oncologist, and I'm hoping we can get chemo. So fingers crossed that that's what happens. In terms of what I'm learning right now, it was a really scary week. A few days there in the hospital this last go round. One of the doctors in the ER made a point of saying, I'm worried about this because it looks like the cancer's metastasized into the liver. I don't know that we know that for sure, but that was the hunch. And she's like, so it seems like for the first time, the cancer has an upper hand, and I'm not sure. Like, I don't know if she said, I'm not sure you can survive this, or she made some kind of life and death statement. I don't remember what it was, but it was so shocking. Like, that's not where I've been. And so it's terrifying. And when we got done talking to her, my oncologist ended up talking to us, who's so even keel and so balanced. And she just said to Brian, look, we're going to do this, we're going to fix this, and then we're going to see what we can go from here. So, we'll see. But to have that feeling of like, oh my God, are you telling me I'm going to die? Like, not tomorrow, but like, I mean, all of us know we're going to die at some point. But it was just shocking and emotional for Brian and I both. So we just held on to each other and, helped each other through it. But what's great is that I really firmly believe that the endoscopy, which was the easier of the other two procedures, the fact it went so well, and we were able to cure the other parts or challenges leading up to it, that to me is like a sign that God and the universe are there helping me get through it. And so, hey, that's, I'm going to take the signs where I get them, and, keep saying your prayers, because I really believe they're helping. The other thing that I learned was surrender. I know I've talked about surrender before, but there's like, hey, I'll do it if I get this, or I'll do that only if this happens. That's not surrender. Surrender is like, okay, what do I have to do? That's the thing. That's the one thing that I will do. And so, and not fight it. And I think that's something that I learned during this procedure. The nose tube, the NG tube, is an invasive procedure, and they stick it up your nose and down your throat, I only needed to have one of them, but I had to have that one done 3 times because of a number of errors. But by the third one, the person that put it in knew the most. And so I kept saying to myself, this means that this is going to be done better, which is going to lend itself to the endoscopy. So, I just said, all right, it's like, do this or death. Like, sometimes it literally is that black and white. And I'm proud of myself for doing it and being able to tolerate it and letting go. And I'm working on the letting go part. That's not an easy, that really is not an easy thing. But, I think the two biggest things, the surrender, and I don't know if I said this part already, but there's two more things. Having faith, in particular with God and universe, and knowing that they're there and you can ask for help and they're there to help you, and they will. And regardless to what degree you believe, I have really come to believe it like so much, and it's helped comfort me and support me. So that's really important, or that's been important to me in terms of learning. And then the final thing is, what that woman gave me, her opinion, she's a great doctor. There's nothing wrong with her, but it took me 3 days to kind of like get that out of my head. And for all of you out there, don't let other people's opinions live rent-free in your head. They don't deserve to be there. It's like, listen to it, ask the questions, but they don't know everything. She's not even an oncologist. So, once I heard from my oncologist, I felt so much better. And that was a huge, huge learning too. So anyway, you can tell I'm a little bit tired. So there's not a lot more to say, but I wanted to get something out so you guys could see where I'm at. I'm gaining weight back, but just like not like in my face and in my chest, but more in my legs with this edema and the swelling of my legs. I don't even know if I mentioned that, but I've been having this swelling of the legs, and that's been one of the harder things because that's impacted my mobility, and my legs feel like tree trunks, and we're working on it. I think the TPN bag is helping a lot, and one day at a time. And man, am I grateful I'm married to Brian, because waking him up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom or whatever, not every spouse would do that and not be frustrated with you. So but yeah, I will say I just am so grateful to all of you again for your love and support. No, I'm hanging in there. I feel like I'm turning a corner. Let's pray that I am. And no, I'll try to do more frequent videos and vlogs as we go on. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for your love and your support and your prayers. Excuse me. And I will talk to you very soon. Much love.